Welcome to this next episode of the Frankly Fukuyama YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe if you appreciate these videos. So today I am talking to Bilal Bilici. He is a member of the Turkish parliament. He is a member of one of the opposition parties, the CHP, and he is here at Stanford for our Summer Fellows program, the Fisher Family Summer Fellows program, where we bring together people that are activists in favor of democracy from all around the world. We actually haven't had, you may be the first Turkish participant in this series. You know, in the past we didn't have a lot of people from Turkey because we didn't think that democracy was in that much danger in your country, but now, you know, I think there's a real problem. So let's begin. Why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit further and the kinds of activities you're doing back in Turkey and so forth.
Sure, it's a pleasure to be your guest today, this afternoon. I'm Bilal Bilici. I'm a member of parliament and I'm with the Turkey's main opposition party, Republican People's Party, CHP, and I'm also serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee. I got elected to the parliament in the 2023 general elections, and I represent the province of Adana, which is a southern city. It's the sixth largest city of Turkey. It's like an agricultural hub of the south.
Okay. So there's been some momentous events taking place in Turkish politics with the arrest of the mayor of Istanbul. Maybe you can talk about what's been going on and why this is such a crisis in your political system.
Well, let me give a basic introduction and summary of who Mayor of Istanbul is, Mr. Ekrem Imamoglu. Ekrem Imamoglu is not your typical politician, but an individual who believes in society inclusive, who is a true Democrat and who practices services to the society, and he has shown his track record, and he has shown these things with his services that he done to the city of Istanbul. And nevertheless, he is the only individual politician who consecutively won 4 elections in a row against the ruling party AKP and AKP's candidates. So when he won these elections, and one of them was the 2019 election, and after the 2019 election, that election got annulled and it was repeated. And in the initial election, the difference was only 13,000 votes. But on the repeat election itself, the difference rose to 800,000 votes. So, as you can see, and in 2024 local elections, Ekrem Imamoglu raised the bar. He raised the bar, and the difference this time rose to million votes.
So we should probably provide a little background here. The person that is raising the bar is the current President Erdogan. So why don't you just provide a little background on his growing authoritarian rule?
I mean, what I could say is that in Turkey nowadays, you could see these things in the rankings as well. Democracy index, press freedom index, rule of law index, as well as economical indications. They all show and give a clear picture is that Turkey is not doing well, and there is an backslide when it comes to democracy, equalities, liberties, freedoms. I believe Turkey has the second largest journalists who are behind the bars. So, and at the top of that, I know economically that in 2024, at Professor Steve Hanke misery index, Turkey was ranked number 5. I mean, these things, this picture overall demonstrate that Turkey is not going in the right direction, and as a country that has so much potential and so much historical background and so much rich culture and potentials, unfortunately we are in a declining stage, and things have gotten worse with the operation against our party, the CHP, and this started initially with the arrest of Ekrem Imamoglu, and a day before his arrest, actually, his university diploma got revoked. Then he got arrested,
and that would disqualify him for running for president.
Yeah,
but why don't you explain why anybody wanted him arrested at that point?
I mean, the thing is the following. Ekrem Imamoglu is an individual, as I told you, is an inclusive person, a true Democrat. So moderates like him, liberals and progressive people like him, also patriotic, nationalistic people like him. He doesn't disregard, and he embraces all. And besides that, he also, since he's a people-centered individual, in his services, social services he provides, he understands the Turkish people well. He understands their challenges, their day-to-day struggles. So when he got elected as a mayor, he started with social services, and let me slightly elaborate on these things. He provided discounted dormitories for students who were going through big trouble when there is a rent and housing crisis in Turkey. He provided discounted municipality restaurants that an elderly or an underprivileged student would dine in for $1 or $2. He provided scholarships. He provided to moms that have kids between the age of newborn to 4 years old free transportation, and 750,000 mothers actually use this. He created an phone app that you would integrate it on your phone, would get a free Wi-Fi, would follow the social activities in the city provided by the municipality, and would apply for a job if any companies or any organization have openings. So these services, got appreciated by the Istanbulites, and he consistently got the support, and people wanted to say that if not you, who? If not now, when? If not here, where? So that's why he was committed doing these services, and his services fortunately made him more popular, and unfortunately this struck a nerve, and as he was getting more and more popular, and as he was going to get declared as the presidential candidate of our party on a Sunday, that we happened to see that he was sent off to prison, unfortunately.
Wow.
And he was kept under custody for 4 days. His diploma gets revoked, which is a prerequisite to run for president. And not only him, but 15 other mayors, including district mayors of Istanbul, including the mayor of Adana, my hometown, and 2 district mayors of Adana as well. All these individuals, all these young, talented politicians are now behind the bars. Not only Mr. Imamoglu himself, but more than 100 of his friends, associates, Istanbul city bureaucrats, and his campaign managers to other security guards and so forth. They are unfortunately, for unreasonable and fabricated logic, they are behind the bars.
Okay, so you're still avoiding saying what the cause of all of this is, right?
Cause is that he's a
Well,
risk, and he's a challenger.
He's a challenger to the current president.
Yes, he's a challenger to the president, and he is a risk who has the likeliness to win the next presidential race, because on the data and survey that all polling companies done, that Ekrem Imamoglu had a wide margin winning the 2028 or 2027 presidential election, and this gap would range between 5 to 10%.
So let's do a little bit of the history of Turkey in recent years. President Erdogan has been in office. He was first prime minister and then became president. And he was the mayor of Istanbul himself at one point. When did he first come to power, and his party, the AKP?
AKP and the President Erdogan came to power in 2002 because during those times Turkey had weak coalition governments, and there was high level of inconsistent challenges within the coalition government, internal disagreements, instability mostly, and economic fall down. Because of these reasons, society and Turkish people looked for an alternative option, and with the foundation and creation of AKP, people wanted to give it a try.
And so this is an Islamist party that has rejected the secular tradition of Kemal Atatürk, right?
They have AK Party has their own views and visions on different things, but what I would say is that they would not fully align with my own views. And people had doubts initially that in the beginning AKP had a democratic agenda. Why democratic agenda? Because the party was promoting and was in favor of Turkey becoming an EU member, and there have been tremendous efforts towards that. But the moment power got consolidated and grabbed, unfortunately those days and those agendas were thrown out of the window, and what we see is that there is a big backsliding on the fundamental principles, values of our country and on democracy.
And so the president has been going after different sectors. This is a little bit reminiscent of what's going on in the United States these days, but for example, the media and universities. Maybe you can say a little bit about what he's done to try to silence critics and potential sources of opposition.
Sure. What I could tell you is that, when the March 19th events took place, with the imprisonment and arrest of Imamoglu, there have been some TV stations, main national TV stations. 4 of them got fined, and 2 of them got a bigger fine that they had to stop their operations for 10 days. So you could see that there is an authoritarian muscle that doesn't want society to have free flow of information and to have access to the what's happening in the country. So
they wanted to prevent people from knowing about the arrest and
to further elaborate, during the March 19 events, there have been protests, and more than 1 million people showed up at these protests in front of the municipality of Istanbul. And as Imamoglu is a beacon of hope, and mainly at these protests we have seen many youngsters, college students, high school students even, women and children who came out to street and protested. Unfortunately, there have been some kind of preventative measures from the government, that the metro lines that has the access point to the municipality was blocked, and the roads also got blocked by the police, and it created an environment as they wanted to silence the dissent, they wanted to control this protest. But Article 34 of the Turkish constitution clearly gives the right of Turkish citizens to right to assembly and right to protest. So these kind of tactics, people do not buy these kind of tactics anymore, these kind of authoritarian reflexes anymore. They have been sick and tired of hearing this nonsense madness over the years, and they just want a betterment of their life as far as democracy, equalities, liberties, and as far as economy goes. Besides not only the liberties and democracy, but also Turkey is going through a big financial struggle and economic downturn, unfortunately.
So President Erdogan had this strange idea that you fight inflation by lowering interest rates, and he tried to do this for some period.
Unfortunately, yes, that's right. He attempted unorthodox methods and unorthodox ways to, maybe this is an ideological approach, that by giving trials and errors and their method of handling economy, it cost billions and billions of dollars to Turkey. In 2024, the inflation reached above 100%, and even today it is around 70 to 80%. And who is paying a price? The average Turkish citizen, especially young kids, children, and future generations of our country, is paying this price. Recently, the luxury tax on cars just went up dramatically, and now to forget buying a house or an apartment, but buying a car or even buying an iPhone is a reach for an college graduate in Turkey. Like, compared to our neighboring countries, whether you look into Russia, Egypt, Germany, and the rest of Europe or United States, iPhone costs almost double the price. So people have these things become not an convenience accessories, convenience good, but it becomes a luxury, unreachable items.
And universities have also been targeted by the regime.
Yes. So that has been the case. Universities have been targeted. For example, in Turkey, we have one of the most oldest and one of the most historical and well established and most respected institution called Boğaziçi University, Bosphorus University. There have been challenges. The president of the university attempted to apply the governmental agenda and wanted to control the events and freedoms within the campus. There have been resistance, but there is a saying that one of the American civil rights leaders that I highly regard, Martin Luther King, said that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. As he put it out there, that oppressed society, whether students, women, or average Turkish people who are facing these economical bad days, are now the oppressed. So they are not willing to continue. They are not willing to hear further excuses or fairy tale stories.
Yeah. But let's look forward to how Turkey could return to a more democratic path. When is the next election scheduled for?
Basically, on regular agenda, it's 2028. But our party and our leadership, especially we have a new young leader of the CHP, Republican People's Party. The leader's name is Özgür Özel, and he is also a good friend and ally of Ekrem Imamoglu. They are together in this journey, and once he became the leader of the party, he also adopted this inclusiveness. That's why, for example, I joined CHP upon him becoming the leader of the party, and so with his strategies and with his agenda, now in Turkey on weekly basis there are 2 protests that our party orchestrates. One of the protests is taking place in a district of Istanbul. This is weekly happening on a weekday, and on weekends we have chosen an inland city, suburban city, that on a weekend day that our party, our supporters, and also the other parties are welcome to join in our protest, that where we show solidarity with the mayors, with the political prisoners, and with a hope and change for better Turkey. Unless there is a change, I don't think that there could be a better days for Turkey, because economic performance, economic development is based on democratic progress. The moment these things are under attack and jeopardized, that the foreign investors will run away, economic trust and confidence will go down the drains. So we need for a betterment of our country and for a better and brighter days, things gotta change.
But you got a big problem. If you do better in the next elections, Erdogan has just arrested whoever challenges him, and so he could simply arrest your new leader at some point. It seems to me that this is a real dilemma in how to deal with somebody that has crossed over into a kind of overt authoritarian mode of governing.
Let me elaborate on this. Yes, you have valid points. For example, 61 of my colleagues who are currently members of parliament in my party CHP, they are facing with a dilemma that their political immunity may get stripped down. So when that happens, if that happens, they will be also facing a judicial process. This includes our party leader as well. So yes, being a leader and being a politician has a price to pay, maybe in our geography or in our country. But I think that our leader and our party, this includes from our party representatives to the executive board, to members of parliament, to mayors, because keep in mind, not only mayor of Istanbul, but 15 other mayors, 100 of their associates, friends, and other circles are behind the bars. So it doesn't mean that you have to be a politician. So you may get hit by the truck by itself, this authoritarian truck by itself. So there are no guarantees. So when there is no rule of law, you don't know what's going to happen. Also, the other thing that I would like to say, Istanbul is an important city. Why it's an important city? It was the capital of 3 big empires: Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, Ottoman Empire. And Istanbul municipality has larger budget than 12-13 ministries of Turkey. And Istanbul is not the largest city of Turkey, it's the largest city of Europe, period. So it's a larger city than...
What's the total population?
16 million officially, but unofficially this number with immigrants and other unregistered residents, let's say, this number could go up to 20 million. But nevertheless, it's a city that is bigger than Rome, bigger than Berlin, London, Barcelona. So if the mayor of this city is taken as a hostage, or if the mayor of this city is being placed as a scapegoat, with these fabricated charges, it's an alarming situation not for Turkey itself, but to the greater world, to the countries and societies that believe in democracy as well. Turkey, as I told you, is also the second has the second largest military in NATO. Has been a NATO member since 1950s and has a big tradition within the Western Alliance, and our economy, exports and financial institutions are aligned with the Western system.
I hope you get sufficient international support. I suspect the Turkish opposition has friends, in Europe. I would say that previously you would have had friends in the United States. I'm not so sure under the current administration whether Donald Trump doesn't actually like and admire Mr. Erdogan precisely because he's a strong man. But, we'll have to see about that.
I mean, I could elaborate on the following. Unfortunately, nowadays there is given the Turkey's big geopolitical importance, keep in mind that Turkey sits on the geostrategic location. North is the Black Sea, and then you have the Bosphorus Straits and Marmara, Aegean, and the Mediterranean. Especially Turkey is very important when it comes to Russia-Ukraine conflict, when it comes to Syria, Gaza war, and now there have been tensions between Israel and Iran. So at the cost of realism and pragmatism, I think that the Western leaders are blinding an eye on what's happening domestically in Turkey. But our party, our party is a social democratic party, and we have alliances in Europe. We are a part of Socialist International. So I believe in this regards that we are going to continue the resistance, because resilience is very important for us. On a separate note, different surveys and polls have been taking place in Turkey that also conduct the research within the AKP's voter space and also opposition. But when they ask the question, do you believe that Imamoglu is in prison for rightful reasons, on fair charges, majority of the AKP supporters and base also do not buy into this.
So even in Erdogan's party, people don't believe that this was a fair.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of members of parliaments and other friends, and when I asked the question, if Imamoglu was part of AKP, or was, let's say, if he was part of your party, would he go through these kind of troubling scenarios and treatments? They do not answer, but I could see from their face that that's a basic no. So there are also double standards. If there is justice, justice should be applied to everybody. Because
why don't you show everybody your poster? Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is also our poster that our party leader demonstrated few times. It's just, as you can see, that this is the image of Ekrem Imamoglu, and Free Imamoglu is a slogan that our party created, because he's in prison and he's going through these difficult times. We just wanna demonstrate and show out our solidarity with Mayor Imamoglu, that he's not alone in this journey, and one day things will turn around, and better days is waiting for Turkey.
Okay.
16 million people voted in the primary. This also includes the party membership, but majority of this number comes from the average citizens of Turkey.
Okay.
Before we go, I have one more thing to say. Our founder of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, said, he is also a great leader, and he is also a hero that we all look up onto. He is also the first president of our political party. So he also believes in the sovereignty, that is, sovereignty shall be unconditionally given to the nation, which means that no one is above the law, regardless of your position or religion or background, ethnicity, and so forth. And everybody should be equal among the eye of the public and justice, and nobody can be also above the citizens of Turkey.
Right.
That's what I would like to highlight, because that's also the roadmap, and that's also the drive that we have, that every day we are continue our journey and struggle.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Very good.